Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm actually wearing a shirt that has an anime chick on it. I'm gonna say her name wrong. Hasedia, I think. Um, I like her because she's hot. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Anyway, so you guys know that the Batman, that movie with the vampire that sparkles in the sunlight. Yeah, so that movie's out in the theaters. I'm not gonna see it because it has some woke content in it. I vote anything woke and anything. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can tell, but this is I'm very anti SJW. But anyway, apparently people are complaining, protesting, doing their hashtags because there is an Asian man in the movie who gets attacked. And so, because an Asian person in this movie gets attacked, I didn't see the movie, but I heard there's a scene where there's an Asian guy, like on a subway or a train or something like that, and a bunch of guys are trying to rob him or something like that. But anyway, but because he's Asian, there's a lot of activists who think that it's racist and it's an anti Asian movie. I've never heard of anything so stupid in my life. That means, using that logic, any movie ever made, so because this is a superhero movie, I don't know, what's the superhero movie I actually saw? Whatever, Spider Man. There's a scene in Spider Man where he webs up a white guy. Is that like, I don't know, Anglo Saxon hate? What about the time where Spider-Man was fighting Electro? Electro's black in the movie, so like, does that mean Spider-Man's in the KKK? So the whole thing doesn't make sense. Like, you can take any movie where something bad happens to anyone. So with that logic, everything ever done on film is racist or sexist. Doesn't just make you hate people. Yeah, I don't know. So like, so like all those like scenes with Jenna Jameson, like is that like, well, never mind. I don't want to go there. But anyway, we need to stop listening to these people, these activists, these blue check marks on Twitter. Basically, anyone that has their pronouns in their bio is basically an enemy of the United States, and anything that uses logic. Now, I know I can't change the world, but if I could. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm getting my taxes done for free. Apparently, the IRS has set up places where you can go and drop off your, tax information, and then they do your taxes, and then they call you a few weeks later, which I think is cool. But anything is better than paying a professional, and I'm too lazy to actually do the taxes myself, which is quite sad. But whatever. I really don't make any money in the first place, so it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not going to. Well, I'm not gonna get a job that I'm gonna last at until this whole you have to wear a mask crap is over. No, I believe it's finally over because, like I said the other day, I went to 3 different stores and I didn't have to wear a mask. So I'm assuming the workplace is going to be like that now. For those of you who listen to the show, I work with dogs. Like, that's my real job, my real profession. Um, all the jobs I've had since the lockdown started is because um, dog places are considered a small business, and small businesses, at least in the city I live in, had crazy rules where like they could only have like 4 employees and stuff like like basically if you had a small business during the lockdown, you were basically forced to close down. Um, so yeah, so like that's why I haven't had a dog job in a while. Yes, I'm one of the people who lost their job because of the lockdown. And work I've done during the lockdown has been with big corporations because that's the only place I could get a job. But I rather work with dogs because that's what I've been doing for most of my life. But anyway, so I'm gonna give it another, like a couple of weeks because you remember Joe Biden said that we were gonna have a winter of death. Remember he said that, right? Now, I think the winter of death, I think winter's over, but remember, winter of death. He's a very, very positive president. He's doing everything in his power to make sure this country is united and the poor and middle class get to take their dollar and maximize it. And he's very good with foreign policy. But anyway, so now that Biden's like low in the polls, like magically COVID's over, which I told you, if you listen to my podcast from 2 years ago, I said that COVID will be over when the next election is going to happen because it's all political. I called it. Now, those weren't my exact words, but I was like, yeah, like COVID's going to magically disappear. I said something like that when it's election time, but whatever. Oh, and well, I mean, I like patting myself on the back, but I can't do it too much because I'll hurt myself. So I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was National Women's Day. Whammon. National Women's Day. That was yesterday. I don't care. Like February was Black History Month. That's 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 the one month out of the 12 that I pretend doesn't exist. Don't give a fuck about that month. There's certain holidays like National Women's Day. I don't give a fuck about. National Women's Day to me just means a day that feminists act extra bitchy. You know, like if women weren't annoying enough, you got to give them a holiday. That's like the one day they don't make sandwiches. You know, but they nag like extra. Like all that energy that was going to be used to make a sandwich is now used to nag you. It's just how it is. National Leave Your Husband Day. How many women filed for divorce on National Women's Day? How many? I bet you thousands did. Thousands. It's like the birth rate's down. We're actually losing population instead of growing population, which I mean is the women's fault. Remember, the more educated women become, the less likely they are to find a mate because women don't date down. And in this society, if you have a college education, you're considered above or better than a non-college graduate, even though people who go to trade schools usually make more money than college graduates. So, but it's just a societal thing. It's like women have to feel like they're trading up, but they call it hypergamy. But that's just one of the many reasons why I don't date. But oh god, I remember one time I had a girlfriend. Like I worked at a dog place because that's where I work. But I had a girlfriend. She made 3 times as much money as I did. She was a personal assistant for like some rocker guy. Okay, now this is an example of just women being annoying. Even though she made 3 times as much money as me, pardon me, even though she made 3 times as much money as me, I was still expected to pay for stuff. Like, she'd be like, "Hey, like let's get Thai food." Now, I don't really like Thai food, but I like the fact that there's Thai women there, so I'm like, sure. But I'm expecting her to pay for it, actually. I paid for it. Can you believe that? It was her idea. Why am I paying for it? I mean, like, she could even, like, get that right. Anyway, the only reason why I was with her is because it took 45 minutes to sleep with her after first meeting her. Yeah, but, anyway, sounds like a winner. Oh god, no. So like, but this chick, okay. So like, I'm really annoyed that like I pay for everything, right? So we're having a conversation, and she randomly says, "I think I need a haircut, or like a new hairstyle." And now she had really long hair, like really long straight hair, and or I think they call them like brunettes, right? I don't know, whatever. She had like really long brown hair, like uh like went down to like the middle of her back. And so anyway, she's like, I think I need a new haircut or hairstyle. And the first thing I thought was, I bet you she's gonna ask me to pay for it. Now, now, I'm not an expert, but I think when women get their haircuts or hairstyles, like, doesn't it cost like $200? And in my mind, the first thing I thought was, I'm not spending $200 for you to get a haircut. And so she looks at me. Now, I don't know why she's looking at me, but in my mind, she's waiting for me to go, "Oh, like, sure, let's go. Like, I'll pay for it." So, like, you know what I told her? I told her, "Oh, well, I can cut your hair." She's like, "Wait, you know how to cut hair?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." I'm totally lying. She goes, "How?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I went to SMC. They have a what's it called? A beautician course. I think some, SMC. It's Salamanca College. It used to be like a cosmetology school. Yeah, there you go, cosmetology school. So I went to SMC though. So I told her that like I took like the hair styling course, whatever. I was more articulate because remember this is years ago. I forgot what I said exactly. But she said, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've got several people's hair." She goes, "Okay." And so I told her the only thing I need is, well, the scissors, because I didn't have clippers or scissors, whatever. She goes, "I know. Like tomorrow, we'll go to Save On and we'll buy the stuff you need, and then you can cut my hair." Okay, so now I have to learn how to cut hair. I have a day. So what I did was I called my friend Ashley because she's a lovely, beautiful young woman with long, long red hair, like long red straight hair that goes in the middle of her back, just like my girlfriend's. Except my girlfriend's hair was like light brown. But I called her. I go, "Listen, my girlfriend is expecting me to give her a haircut." I lied to her and told her I know how to cut hair. What is what is something I should do? Because I told her I know what I'm doing, so I'm assuming I'm gonna be the one that has to make the suggestions. So she goes, and once again, she's very helpful. She goes, "Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't have lied." So I go, "Thank you, Ashley. You've been a great help." Okay, so now I really don't know what to do because that was the only girl I knew that had hair like my girlfriend's. So I go to YouTube and I look up, like, cutting your own hair. And I saw this one video of this woman. She's a mom. She's like in her 30s. She has a like a 6-year-old kid. And she goes, "This is a simple haircut. I'm gonna show you how to do layers." And so she gave her 6-year-old a layered haircut, like a layered haircut. And I'm like, that's easy. And so I watched the video once. Okay. The next day, my girlfriend, we hang out. I go, you know what? You need layers because that would really frame your face really well, and you would just look, I think, better. I'm not saying you look bad now, but you'll look better. She goes, okay, great idea. We go to the store, get the, supplies I need, which is just, scissors that cost a lot more because they're meant to cut human hair, I guess, whatever. We go in my front yard. I put a towel around her because I don't know what to do, and I do my best impression of a stylist. And I start cutting her hair. My roommate comes home and sees me cutting my girlfriend's hair, and my roommate's like, "Wait, you know how to cut hair?" And I'm like, this bitch is gonna blow my cover. So I look at my roommate and I tell her, "There's a lot of things I know how to do that you don't know." She goes, "Okay," and then she goes inside. And then my girlfriend just smirks like, "Well, that's my man. He's mysterious." Anyway, after I'm done cutting her hair, I give her a mirror, and she goes, "I love it." I'm like, "I know. I've done this before." I don't know how I pulled that off, but I literally watched a 5-minute YouTube video once and gave my girlfriend a haircut. But the thing is, I saved myself $200 because no way in hell I was gonna pay for that shit. But anyway, me and her broke up. To make a long story short. Um, let's just be honest. When you meet a girl and you get to sleep with her, like the first time you hang out, that's not a keeper. So I never had intentions to be with her long term, and I just found her really annoying, and I didn't like the fact that, of course, she made literally 3 times as much money as me and didn't pay for anything once. Even though it was her ideas, half the time we'd hang out, it'd be like her idea to do something. So, anyway, she did have hot friends though, which is really disgusting because I really wanted to do one of her friends. She had this really, because I love skinny chicks, she had this like skinny tall friend that I would really want to have sex with, but apparently she was already being strung along by some other guy. So I didn't, once again, I don't mess with other people's games, so I didn't want to string her along because that would take away from this other guy's fun. But oh well, whatever. Happy Women's Day. I've said enough. You guys, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Any comments or questions, let me know. Or if there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. I can do that. Anyway, have a good one. Peace.